Back again with another episode on True to the Game podcast. We're shooting episode 2 with a visionary in the art game here in Grenada. His name is Frederick. You know what I mean? I've known him for a while. You know, it's way before I went on my scholarship. You know, we've kept in contact. I wouldn't say like every single day or every, you know what I mean? But like, you know, ever so often, me and him, we kind of tapping with each other, stuff like that. And I feel like to do episode 2, because I don't want people to think like the podcast is strictly about basketball. It's really about people on their walk and their own journey in life, and just try to inspire and motivate the listeners. So, you know, I got my boy Teddy here. You feel me?
It's good, bro.
You know, it's been a while since we linked up, bro. A while since we talked, you know. So, just want to know what you've been up to. You know what I mean? How you feeling? How you been?
Man, you know how I stay. I'm always trying to like make something, you know, art-wise. But coming back to like last time we linked, bro, like seriously, I would probably say it's like Germany. Like I saw you doing some stuff out there, and I was just like, yo, Greens guys out here too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, I think we've always had this like little on and off where you're somewhere in the world, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm trying to find out if I'm in your area. You know?
True, bro. Yeah.
So, yeah, and I think that's just kind of been our relationship for that 8 years too.
Yeah.
And when you say you're coming home and what you're trying to do, I was like, yeah, bro, tap in.
Yeah, because when I came back and I told you that, I think you was one of the first persons that told me like, yo, like if like don't really worry about what anybody else think about me starting this, because since there's nobody in Grenada who ever went full-time like basketball trader, you know what I mean, and just kind of like do a deep dive into that. Even before making the decision to go into doing the basketball stuff, remember I was kind of looking around to try and hold on to something, and even you connected me with some people.
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I mean?
Yeah, I was like, yo, my greens, bro, whatever you need, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you called me for this podcast too, it was just like no exception. You know?
Yeah,
it's like, yo, just sign me up. He's like, oh, you can make it? Yes. I was like, yes, I can make this.
Yeah.
I mean, I support you, bro, and I want to see your basketball journey just like grow tremendously here in Grenada, regionally, and continue to do what you're doing internationally. So anything I could do to support, bro, you know what I mean? I'm here. Real.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Of
That's
course,
love.
bro.
That's love. You know, I want to talk with you about we're going to get into a lot of things, but I want to talk about the transition, because I've always, we met through basketball. Like, you know, a lot of the relationships I've built with people, most of it stem from getting to know people on the basketball court, and then at some point people branch out and do their own thing. But you was in the art space even before I met you, right? But I know you through basketball, so I know you don't really play ball that much anymore, you know what I mean? So when it comes to you and the level you are right now, not only art, but producing film and stuff like that, you just being a creator on a whole, like, you know, what's your mindset behind that? You know what I mean? Because you was on a basketball team, and now for real. Don't play ball anymore, and you just all in with what you do.
For real. I mean, I would play ball, you know. Yo, I would play ball and come and like, you know, still teach a few dudes something.
Yeah, bro. Y'all don't know.
Yeah, for real.
We talking about bounds, bro. There's a clip on YouTube when you used to sweat on the box.
Yes, sir.
Remember that dunk?
Yeah.
Boy, man, you're gonna try to clip it and put it in there, bro.
Man,
like,
I still got some life in me too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
man.
I think with my art, I take art pretty seriously.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes for me, especially with collaborations, I'm looking for people who also just like taking it just as serious. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, you're creating something and it's putting a lot of energy into it. Just like with your basketball and anything that we do, you know, if you want to see it come true and mean something, you kind of have to take it seriously. Yeah. And so for me, like, one of my decisions to kind of like step down from basketball is because I just, you know, like I run the math and I realized like I just want to be heavy into the art thing. Mm. And basketball required a lot too, like, you know, you gotta come out for training, you gotta go to these camps, you gotta, you know, don't miss the games. And I was like, when would I make art? But I was doing good at basketball too.
Yeah.
So like, my coach want me out, and other teams want me out, and I was just like, I'm just make a hard choice. I want to see what's the possibility of shaping my identity inside of art.
Right.
And I think for me, moving around in Grenada, and even how I move around to different basketball courts, where art is concerned, I want to know first and foremost if I can understand the essence or the vibes of the people, and see if I can answer my own questions about my own identity through that.
Right.
And a lot of the films that I started making came out of that desire to wanting to understand my own heritage, my own identity. Mm-hmm. As soon as I travel, and you know that, as soon as you leave Grenada and you go somewhere else in the world, someone asks, where are you from? And, sometimes it kind of hits me like, yeah, I'm from Grenada, but like, what do I tell them now? What about Grenada I want to tell them right now, And sometimes I used to be stuck in genuinely, like, it's not like I can't tell them we have all of these things, but you overwhelm a person with those things. And then I wanted to say more what touches me more about Grenada than just telling them, oh yeah, Grenada has like good beaches, the people are cool, and you're getting coconuts every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted to go a little further than that, and I feel like part of that for me is like I wanted to elevate the conversation. And so I've started making stories on topics in Grenada that would teach me about Grenada and even about the history of that thing or the cultural reference of that thing, so that I understand it. And at the same time, I continue my craft, I shape it, and I try to make it entertaining enough so that anybody could understand,
Okay, that was heavy though.
Yeah, but I had to say that first because I think a lot of time when people look at my art, they're looking at the finished results and they're comparing it to maybe a lot of technical things.
Yeah.
But for me first, I want to understand vibe, I want to understand essence, because the technology is going to change. There's always going to be a new way to do something. But if you understand why you're doing something and you're convinced that this is why you're doing it, that's belief. Yeah. And belief is really what drives art. So in any time period, in any era you're in, if you have a convinced idea, if you're convinced on your idea that you want to put out there and you're willing to go after that idea and make sure it manifests, make sure it comes to fruition, make sure you do it, you will see, the results.
The results,
Yeah.
The reason why I say it's heavy because it's the approach you said you took with the film and the art that you want to create. It wasn't just like, I could make art, so let me just make it and put it out there so people could see. It was you making it so you can get a better understanding of where you're from. And then with you doing that, you also just share that with the people in Grenada and worldwide too, you know what I mean? So, and one of the things me and you spoke about when we had our recent conversation was how much me and you travel and being exposed to certain things and trying to bring that mindset back to Grenada when we are in our respective areas. So like with me and the basketball, I'm trying to think over and beyond when it comes to things like I haven't seen here, you know what I mean? And you, for instance, like you going out there and, like thinking about what you can do in the art space or the film space back here that nobody's really used to. And that in itself, kind of would encourage people who want to do the same thing, but they don't know who to look at, like in Grenada to be like, well, this person's doing it, so I can do it too. You know what I mean? So much respect for that, man.
But for sure, bro, but even on that point, even on that point, people stop me in the streets like regularly, or they message me online and they're saying, or they're asking me, how did I get that? Or what did I do to do that? And sometimes that's like a huge challenge for me to answer. Because when I think about my process, I know my process is not a technical one. I'm not so much of a technical person. Right. And a lot of people probably wouldn't accept that because they feel I still hold a camera, so I have to understand like a technical things. I do, but not as in depth as like people who are really specialized in like camera operation or these type of things. And the reason why I say that is because I'm treating the camera as a medium and nothing else. I'm focused on the idea of answering questions of identity. So for me, that's experimentation. And that's where it builds my confidence. When I say experimentation, what it means is like, okay, if you trying to figure out, like what the name of your area means, and we're making a video about it, people need to know that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they don't just want to like, get it boring.
Yeah.
They also want to be like, this is interesting. So for me, I'm thinking too, in the experimentation part, what can I do to communicate this in the most interesting way? And that's where the experimentation comes. So now I want to figure out, play with tools, look at other creators. I want to play for myself with different, ideas and techniques. And just looking at those things, doing a little research and testing things out for myself. Like I'll just take my camera out for a day if I know a shoot's coming up, and like practice with a technique that I see somewhere. And that experimentation just sort of kind of like elevates my ability to feel confident and make erratic choices. Choices
Right.
that I don't feel like would make me feel like, this is not what a professional would do. Because it's true to how I interpret my space, and it's true to how I interpret the identity that I want to bring across in my films.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's dope, bro.
Yeah. I'm not even like going with talk about technical stuff, because
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times when people do meet me and we do have conversations, they want to know how, but the why is so much more important than the how. Because if you understand why I'm making those choices, you can figure out for yourself, based on what you believe,
Yeah.
why you need to make your choices.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, believe everything that you believe. And to put that even in context more, it's kind of like how a guy who loves diving, turning a photographer, would take diving photos would be way different than how I would take photos if I now go and try to like be in the water.
Be in the water.
Yeah, knowing that I don't really want to be a diver.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's feeling and experiencing that world in a whole new different mindset. The way he wants to probably preserve the landscape of under the water,
Yeah.
That just kind of gives him an emotional connection to that space. And so he sees imagery different.
Different, yeah.
And
yeah.
I want people to like bring their individuality out of their art. Because if they do that, then we would give the world something that is never seen before. But if we only trust in like, oh, this person did that, so let me try it, then you're just repackaging stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
that's
mean?
True.
And
That's
for
true.
me, I don't want to feel like everybody else. I want to feel like my identity matters. Being born in Grenada does not determine the outcome of how I see myself or where I go in the world. And my art needs to reflect that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so my belief in how I do what I do is more important to me first than what it is that I'm using as a medium to do that.
And like to your point with like the why, that makes your art authentic.
Yeah.
Because if you do it, like nobody would understand your why better than you do.
Exactly,
so you
bro.
putting that out and bringing that into reality, there's nobody who could copy it and bring it to life the way you would bring it out to the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the why is very important, because even with the young kids that I train, bro, like when they sign up, when some of the parents sign them to the academy, so the application form, I always ask them, okay, why you want to play basketball? Because I'm not the type. I have too much love and passion for this game to be like, okay, just come and train with me, you're gonna pay me, and then that's. But I'm like, why you want to play it? You have some kids saying, oh, they want to get a scholarship. Some saying, oh, they want to just get better at the game. Some saying they want scholarships and stuff like that. But I had this one kid saying like, I'm a friend of them in school playing it, so I'm like, that's not a good reason. That's not a good reason, because you can't want to do something just because your friend doing it. You have to have your own individual reasons why you want to do it. If you want to train and get better, you want to get good enough so you can play with your friends, or you can, be on the same level with them, it's fine. But just don't say like, oh, I'm doing it just because my friend's doing it. That, that makes no sense.
But man, you're absolutely right. And even to add to that, for me, because a lot of people also come around, they want to learn what I know, they want to try things. And sometimes I'm also asking them like, things about themselves, because I want to find out, how convinced they are about what they believe that they're going to probably put it into their art.
Yeah.
And sometimes some people, they take a while to also understand, their own identity, because that's something that's ongoing, right?
Sure.
And so for me, I always kind of like try to leave the room open so that persons could like experiment a little bit. And even if it means, yeah, you come to my class today, my art class, and you're probably gonna never become an artist, but you wanted to give it a try. To me, that's even more important still than saying that, you know, I'm not gonna come because I'm not gonna do that in life. But you don't know where you're gonna go. You're not gonna show where you're gonna use it.
Exactly.
And even if you know for a fact you're probably gonna study mechanics and you're not gonna play basketball, the individuality that we require to be creative, to solve problems in the world, requires us to grab from different places.
Yeah.
And just
that's true.
maybe how you interact with your players, the team building of that, it helps you to manage better under stress.
Yeah.
You never know. You know what I mean? And so I still like leave them, let it come, bro. Even if they have like a weird reason, I'm like, all right, perfect. You know, you come, bring your friend. He's like, you don't want to play basketball? Sure, let him come in, watch us play basketball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, mind you, he's there though.
Of course.
He's with the group. I wanted him to like have something that a little bit stronger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you said, still bring them because like that's the start. So
we're getting them to think. Yeah.
And then now he's watching everybody improving and game betting. He was like, oh, like if he's improving. If he's getting better just as much as somebody who wants to make it to the NBA, then he'll be like, oh, well, this kid want to get a scholarship. We're the same age, and I'm improving a little bit faster than him. Well, maybe I should try and get to the NBA too. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of that's where it starts. You know. So, but yeah, what I want you to just tell I want to know as well. You know, I know the people want to know Teddy before the present. Meaning like, was art, like I wouldn't say art, because you have a very creative mind, bro. I would say like your creativity, was it something that was always there since from childhood? And like, let people know like, just about you from, growing up. Was that a part of you from the beginning, or you kind of like grew into that?
For real. What I would say here first is that I feel what contributed more to my creative journey is my ability to ask questions. And I wouldn't ascribe it to anything that I inherited or any kind of special, thing that was, placed on me or anything like that that gave me the sauce. I just was a curious person. And I like asking questions and I like solving problems. So that type of critical thinking, I think, made me creative indirectly. Because now I have a behavior of, if I need to know something, I want to experiment with different concepts to see what conclusion I arrive at. And now I'm left with technical skills because of that experimentation. And then the questioning to arrive at the idea of identity helps me to use that technical knowledge to then try to play with different mediums and things to come to answer that question.
Right.
So for me, it's still just communication and trying to solve problems technically if I have to, or maybe, just for my own personal understanding.
Okay, so did that start from like childhood, man, like primary school, or like, since you was a kid?
Yeah, so since I was in like primary school, to be honest, I'm always fascinated with how things work.
Right.
To the point where, my parents used to be like, I used to always just be in the backyard, like playing with mud, clay, and I would cut it up and try to like make toys and all types of things.
Man, I wish the kids today knew what that felt like.
And I remember I used to like, I had those cars that you can pull back like this and it goes forward.
Yo,
bro,
that's going down memory lane, bro. Like
so
all
I
those kind of
used
toys.
to destroy that and take the mechanism to put it in my mud car, because my mud car was like cooler, right?
Man, that's sick.
Because I'm scrapping the car to figure out why is it always going back and then going forward.
Going forward, yeah.
I'm curious. So then I scrapped it, and I was like, my parents they stopped buying me toys because I used to scrap all the toys.
Yeah.
So then I was like, then I got into bicycles, like breaking bicycles down, like putting them back together, taking different ones from different ones and put it on the next one, and just like, I'm like, why am I doing that? And then I started like making kites in my community.
Okay.
Like every Easter, I would just like make kites for like some of the kids around or myself, and
Flex kite?
which bamboo,
Flex.
yeah, bodies,
Bodies and things.
yeah. And then we want to like make the craziest design on it.
Remember Kokoriki?
Yeah, bro. And long tail too.
You know what Kokoriki is?
Oh no! Oh
Yo.
no! Okay, put up a Kokoriki on the screen.
on, bro.
Put up a Kokoriki on the screen.
Yeah, you gotta put up a Kokoriki on the screen.
Really.
Bro. We gotta find a picture of that for us.
Yeah. And just like doing those things just make me like experiment even more. I was like, yo, I can make a kite. I can do this. I can paint. I can do the bicycle. I was like, other things are working differently from the things that I already got an understanding of.
Yeah.
And then I don't know where it clicked, but somewhere along the line, I just kind of like picked up a paintbrush, and something inside of me just kind of like clicked where I was just like, this is a really chill thing to do, you know? At first, I was just like painting all the things in my home, my parents, my sisters, and then people would ask me like, yo, could you do this? I was like, I don't know, but I can find out. Because I love to go, you know, so I never would be like, yo, I know this, like that, yeah. I would just be like, you know what, give me a few days, and I would just go research it, and I would try to figure out how that thing worked, and then I would come back and say, hey, yo, I actually went and like get myself a little model, and then I like worked it out, so I kind of feel like I can work this one out, and I have a video that showed me step by step how to get it done, so I haven't done it before on a real one, but I feel like I can figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's been my attitude ever since.
Real quick though, what you just said, man, I listened to it's a podcast called like Secret to Success, right? And the guy CJ on there, he had mentioned a quote where he just said like, if someone asked you to do something and you was like, you could find out. The quote, and that stuck with me. He said, not knowing something, it's not a good enough reason not to find out. You know what I mean? I mean, like if someone asks you, if you know this or you know how to do this, your response can't just be, oh no, I don't know how to do that, and just leave it like that. You know what I mean? You can be like, okay, let me see if I can get some information on how to do it, and then just move forward with it. Because like you have a lot of people in this world, it's like you ask them like, can you do you know how to probably fix this, or do you know how to get this thing to work? Oh, nah, I don't really know. Even if when it comes to like, you're not finding out, you can be like, nah, but I know somebody who knows, so let me call him, or let me call so-and-so, and let me see if they can help you. And also, the same person you're calling to find out like who you think have the solution for whatever the problem is, you can find out about the same thing from that same people. So just like you're saying, like I think that's big, man. And,
yeah, for real, bro.
You know,
it's like when I used to sit down thinking about how things work, how to break things apart, and I realized like it takes the same amount of time to think big that it would take like if I were to sit there and think small.
Yeah.
Like the same amount of time. Like even if I were to say like, yo, I could put a helicopter on top of this car.
Right.
The time it took me to be like, yo, I could just probably get in the car and drive away because that's the easiest thing. Same time. But it still allowed me to diagnose like the scenario, even if some of the ideas are outlandish, and to see if I can just add some type of perspective that makes me feel like I've, infused myself into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So then it's natural for me. I think that I would always look at whenever I'm on a production, it's the point of view of the subject, right?
Okay.
That always like it's been curious to me. Like if you have a glass in your hand, what is that glass seeing? Or if I'm playing with a little car, what is that little car seeing in this giant hands? And that bugged me for a long time, bro. That bugged me, and I was just like, okay, so I'm always trying now to get a camera that can do that, and then the big lenses can't go close. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I need something that can go close. So I research what goes close. It's like, so a macro lens. I need a macro lens that could magnify it. And then even the macro lens, because of the size of it, sometimes it just makes it wonky just for that. Right. So then I was like, okay, research more. And then I discovered there's this probe lens. It's like a small diameter like this, but it's a long barrel like about that. And I can put it in any little area and get like good quality, shots. And so I got that because I want to see things from their point of view, and that lens helped me more to do that. So that little car here now in my hand, I can put that lens anywhere around it and see what they see. And my giant face with the glasses looking onto that miniature car.
And that kind of broadened things in terms of like, but that by itself, that's just a car.
Yeah.
So, and imagine how many things you see moving around
every day,
and you'll be like, okay, you're watching everything from your eyes, but if you could see it from your, just like, I think, I don't know if you ever see video where well, you probably, I don't know why I'm asking that, you probably do. But yeah, they have drones, like they throwing a drone off the cliff and then they just fly through and they get a wave. Yeah. And then it's like, I saw people, sometimes, like one of the videos I saw, someone in the comments like, damn, like the birds are living their best life. You know what I mean? Because watching how the drones flying over the water crashing on the sand, or sometimes like just like where it's like, if it's like a coral reef or whatever the case may be. And it's like the view, bro.
Yeah.
Without a drone, you wouldn't be able to get that view, but that's really like how probably a bird sees. So,
and that perspective is like crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you think about that perspective, put it in the context of your individual story and how that perspective can change how the viewers see things. If you trust yourself enough to play and to not take it as serious as if you're going to win or lose or fail. Because if you're experimenting, you're not failing. All you're doing is coming up with multiple ways to get to a conclusion. And from there, you're discovering a lot more than just getting to that one conclusion.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that individual story, that perspective that you have, that idea or the way you see things that no one else is considering, that's what I want to nurture. Yeah. That's what I want to culture. Not so much like what new camera came out tomorrow or yesterday, or you know what I mean. I want to know if you're trusting your guts enough to tell the story of your heritage and your birthplace, and trusting yourself enough to show the world your point of view unapologetically. Yeah. Because it's my point of view. No one else can share that like me. So I don't have to say sorry for sharing my point of view. Yeah. I don't have to feel like it's not a point of view that's worth sharing because I'm here.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm here and I'm contributing to physically in the world, it means that I have a point of view that's valid. And I want to discover with the rest of my life, you know, what that looks like if I were to really make an intention of giving it a chance to express the way I see things on the world.
100%. Do you think like a lot of people who want to get in creative space, they're kind of like scared of criticism?
I think it's a genuine thing to put your baby out there and have people criticize it, you know? Yeah. Because you have like, you know, you put your best foot forward. Yeah. But I wouldn't say never, maybe in the earlies felt that way. But the more I started experimenting with different tools and things to try to understand myself, the criticism didn't felt like criticism anymore. You know, it felt like, wow, I never saw it in that way. And I started hearing that more than, well, oh, this is bad or this is good, because then you can't say something is bad if it's not your point of view and you're not living it. True. The most you can do is just look at it and try to understand that person's point of view. But you can't criticize it because that's their point of view. And so that's where I felt very confident. And I would walk into any film set and not feel like I'm at a disadvantage. Right. Because I'm like, I know my point of view is valid. Their point of view is also valid. Yeah. And what they have is not different from what I have in terms of my humanity and my ability to bring my identity into a space. We can then talk about camera after. You know what I mean? But that's the first thing. When I walk into a room, I'm thinking I have the right to take up space here. I'm valid for being here, and my point of view and my perspective matters.
So as we talking about, you know, you not being scared to put your stuff out there, because you know what you're creating. Yeah. You know, even if someone feel like they want to criticize it, it's not on them to have you can't let them their words dictate where you go from go from there.
Nah.
Like, with your stuff. So what I was going to touch at, I've seen you've been to a lot of different schools, right? You've even been to my alma mater,
What school is that?
Wesley College. The last episode, I said I wasn't going to say anything. I don't want people to keep guessing because some real, bro. I'm gonna bring it up again because people think I always go either go PBC or I go GBSS.
Facts.
But I went to Wesley College, and you know what I mean, like
Big up Wesley College.
Yeah, we got our 50th anniversary coming up celebration.
We just came from Wesley College and showed Don't Blink.
Oh yeah, that's where that's where I saw the video.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I saw you. Yeah, you went to Wesley College. Did y'all go to Boca too?
Not yet.
Not Boca, but
on
y'all
the
went
list.
to Westmoreland.
Yes, we did.
Y'all went to a few schools. So what I want to ask you, like when you go to the schools, like to share your art and share your creativity with the kids, and that's the young minds. You know, the young kids. They're the up and coming generation. They're the future of the country. Just as you're breaking down the way you handle like criticism and stuff, do you just also give them a talk about that as well, or is it just like you let them know what you have going on, you show them the art, or do you give them a little bit of something that they could take forward in life, like advice and stuff like that?
I catch what you're saying. I think I do it a little bit more indirectly. I feel like as an artist, I've always show and not tell.
Yeah.
And so I invite people into collaboration to experiment and play. Yeah. And so inside of there, they're building the same things that I've built. Confidence, pulling out their own identity.
Right.
I'm going to ask some questions like that. What do you want to do? What do you like? What's going on home in your village? Like, what you guys just do up there? Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, we just play a lot of, shotney. I was like, all right, cool. Give the character a little shotney vibe. He's like, and he put it in there. He's like, yeah. So now and I'll be like, yo, stand up in front and talk about it. And they would stand up in front. They was like, yo, well, I don't know. Up here had the most shortney and things, so I put that inside here, and and then that helps, bro. And they come not to the art session not because it's just like something that they had to do. It's because the community that we're building with the type of language and communication to allow permission to play. Yeah, I think that changes the mindset immediately.
That's so smart too. So it's kind of like you're not throwing something on them, but you're just making them work with something that they're already familiar with.
Yeah. Man, and it's inside of you, bro. Yeah. So I don't need to tell you, yo, do it this way. If I do that, I'm creating a pattern where everyone's thinking in this particular trajectory.
Yeah, bro.
But I want to break the pattern or think outside of the box, understand what it does, the pattern does, but then challenge the pattern. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the only way you would be able to give something to your space or contribute to your team in a unique way that no one else can do. So I want to pull that out of everyone that's collaborating with me, because if you look at a film credits at the end of a movie, you see they take 5 minutes just for the credits.
Just for the credits, yeah.
Some people don't stick around. Yeah. But think about it. Those are people.
Yeah.
5 minutes of wall of text going up of people's names.
Yeah.
That means there are multiple people there that made that one thing come together.
Project. Yeah. Yeah.
And the way you emotionally react to the final product is on the basis of all of their lived experiences coming together on that one collaboration.
Yeah.
And that's super important to understand in Grenada, especially in the creative industry. Because when you're thinking about monetizing your creative ability, you don't want to start thinking about too much of the threat assessment in the space and the competition, because you think like the space is saturated.
Yeah.
You want to know that you're trusting your guts strong enough to put yourself out there with the perspective that to give the world something that's unique only to you. And that will call the people who wants to collaborate with that thing. So you're never going to be out of work, bro.
Yeah.
You're never going to be not being able to do something that you wanted to do because you feel like, oh, everyone's doing that. Nah.
Yeah. It's going to be limitless.
Yeah. I mean, at my position right now in the creative industry, after like giving this like a really strong, good, run, I'm talking about like 10, 15, 20 years. It's just like hard on my creative journey. And I don't feel like I'm in a competition, bro.
Yeah.
I've never felt like I'm competing with other creative people. And sometimes it actually hurts more when they confront me and then they put those things out there as if like, you know, like, yo, you're gatekeeping the sauce. I'm like,
Yeah.
you need to trust your ability more.
Yeah.
You need to go out and figure out what it is that made me so unique and why I'm doing it this way and amplify that. I could never take that away from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you understand that, no, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready to talk.
Yeah.
I'm ready to like push because it's like you got that lockdown. I'm ready. I'm locked this down. So like, you good at diving and stuff, and you understand camera stuff, just like how me and your cameraman was talking earlier. We're talking the technical language, yeah.
Yeah.
But his lived experiences is different, like through basketball. So if we're going to shoot basketball, I'm going to ask him. That's my mindset. Like immediately, I'm looking for the players. I'm going to ask him, what do you guys do here with the so-and-so, with the one? I want to find out so I can draw that out of him so then I can make the story better.
Better, yeah. And that's just drawing out what he's already submerging, what he's used to.
Exactly. So like the setup we have now is just like a conversation that we were having, and I'm drawing that out of him too, naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not sure if he's checking on it, but just like I already know he knows these things. So now it's just to play with to see what's like comfortable for you, what colors was in the background, and stuff like that.
Because I ain't gonna lie, bro, when y'all start talking about the names and whatever on the lens, I'm like, bro, and now y'all sound like y'all from another planet. Let me, really. You know what I mean? So like, what you got going on right now in terms of like projects and stuff like that?
What you trying to know? What you trying to know, huh?
Man,
you trying to be in a movie?
I ain't really reached to that point of being in a movie and nothing like that yet, you know what I mean? But like projects that you have going on, I know you have, you already have a film you're working on, you know what I mean?
Bet.
Don't blink.
Real.
So like,
you're gonna miss
if
it.
you could, touch on that a little bit. Well, not a little bit, if you, as far as you want to go, to expound on like what you got going on with that.
Real. Man, Don't Blink is a movement. So it's a Grenada project. My idea here is I want to get as much people involved in Don't Blink on a community level as possible. For me, growing up, I never seen any folklore. Never. Yeah. I've only heard of it. And so, I'm curious to find out, what's going on there, because that's part of our identity. And I just feel like it's with a generation of people that we just don't have information about it. So I'm just using my medium to try to figure out how to tell that story and understand it for myself. In my mind, folklore is a Caribbean story, a Caribbean narrative. So Grenada has its own versions of some of these folklores. So why not talk about it? Why not tell it? Why not show it or make it interesting enough that people understand it so they're not even probably scared of it? You know what I mean? So I'm trying to I'm trying to get into as much communities as possible and give those communities representation so that they could tell their version of the folklore film. So Don't Blink is really a series, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
A lot of people see it as a one-off and say like, yeah, it's a movie. Because of the length, but in reality, we see it as a series.
Hey, that's fire. So that's a drop right there. So for people who didn't know, Don't Blink was part of a series. And the whole meaning behind it, like you spoke on folklore, like you don't hear a lot of people talking about it anymore. Like I want to do the generation thing, but like the generation that's growing up now, you don't hear about people talking like Elijah Bless and Mama Melody and those kind of things. But like especially like I know my grandma and my mom, they spoke about that a lot. You know? So we grew up like. So this is one thing, and I did mention that this, like my grandma say, like, if you walk on the street at night and it's dark, like to keep Jumbie and thing away, just out of cultural battle and thing.
Okay, cool.
You know what I mean? So it's, you know what I mean? So it's like stuff like that people like, this generation might not know. So I think that you doing a dive into that, try to expound on what it actually means, or try to understand what it means, and then you create a film out of it. Yeah. In the process.
I mean, that's what art does, right? It asks questions, it challenges things, and in Grenada, a lot of our narratives are just oral. So I want to see if I could use my craft to probably bring something to light. But man, while we're doing this project, I gotta tell you, I discovered why there's not much folklores and Jumbie and thing around these days.
What is that?
Yeah, it's for two reasons, two things that cause them to like vanish. So surveillance systems and street lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as soon as we started putting street lights in places where Jumbie used to live, they ain't there no more.
On a corner, or a dock or something.
And for all the parts where the street lights wasn't working and there's a camera, they just don't show up around the camera.
You don't see nothing. Yeah.
So these folklores got a sense of humor.
Right.
And I think when we go into communities and we ask people like if they ever seen one, like 90% of the times, or even 99.9% of the times, they've seen one.
Yeah.
But it's not with another person or in a group. It's always by themselves.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know if folklore is real or not real. I don't want anybody to look at Don't Blink as some type of accurate historical documentation of talking about folklore.
Yeah.
It's basically trying to uncover what that meant for a few people, in our communities and in our country, and to see if we could just package it and put it together in an entertaining way as well. Okay. But I don't know if they're real or not. Never seen one, and everybody that I met who've seen one have only seen it by themselves, so they can't actually say that they've seen it.
They've seen it. It's like me. I've never saw. I haven't seen any of it, bro. But I've heard the stories from like I said, like grandparents, like my grandmom, mom and them. Like they tell certain stories, and they tell the stories, and it's like it make it seem like it's so real, like they actually experienced it. So, but like you said, more street lights, more like cameras, like just all of that just disappear. But I gotta give me some grace because I haven't seen Don't Blink. Because remember I mentioned to you that like the way I'm training the kids with the academy, it's like I would train until like 6:30 or sometime when I'm leaving the court. It's like 7:30, 8 p.m. So I never really had the chance to go watch it. But when it do come back around, like
for real,
definitely gonna tap in.
Yeah, Don't Blink ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
so and if you blink, you're gonna miss it. So you missed it because you blinked.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
But I mean, I want people to know that this is a Grenada movie, and they can take ownership of this film. Right now, people can just reach out to us if they think they want to be around the project and be in it, be around it, be whatever aspect you think you want to be on. It's a Grenada movie. Once you're here, you live here, and you want to be part of it, just reach out to us. You can message Don't Blink page and just tell us your interest. And once we're ready for part 2, we'll definitely circle back to everybody within that first cohort of contacts information.
And that's huge because it's Grenadian produced. Like,
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have somebody doing stuff like this on that scale.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a tricky situation because in one light, you want stories and narratives to be told by the people who live them and who have the emotional connection to the landscape. And in another part of that, especially in Grenada, you want to also increase the production value because you want it to look like what you see already out there on Netflix and some of these bigger productions. So it has to take a type of hybrid situation, to take consultation from people locally and do some type of international collaborations and scale the production value.
Yeah.
And I think that type of thinking could definitely get us to tell emotional stories that is accurate and true to the essence of the space and the production value that could compete anywhere else internationally.
Yeah, man. I think that's huge though, because you will definitely find just like one of the Grenada top content creators. I think he's one of the stars in the film, right?
Yeah, King Dre.
Yeah,
big up the boss, big up the boss.
Yeah. So, and there's other like young, upcoming, and even people who's in the content creation space who like being in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So that gives them an opportunity to kind of tap in a little bit more.
Man, for real, because just to give you some stories that we encountered for the last times we were showing Don't Blink, a lot of families would reach out to us and express their interest in this supporting the film, and some of them want to get their kids involved, some of them actually want to get involved. So that kind of triggered my thinking in terms of opening up the project, because we just kind of did it in the beginning because we wanted to challenge ourselves, you know what I mean? So we didn't have so much production value inside of it.
Right.
It's just me, a few friends, and we try to make something cool. But when we see the emotional impact it was having on people in the cinemas and in some of the communities where we go, every single time we go somewhere and show the movie, tell yourself, someone there is asking us to show it in another location. So the list right now for visits is very long.
It's a long list.
But we had to take a break because it was just like a lot. And it's a national film, so I know a lot of people want to be like, yo, you're not coming to our school, or you're not coming in our area, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I still want them to understand what's going into the film process. So I'm training as I go along, educating as I go along. Because I know it's a new thing for Grenada, to just sit here, live here, and then make a movie at this scale.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts, yeah.
So
that's very different, bro.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
But I love it here, bro.
Yeah.
I'm from Greens, and you know what I mean? When I'm growing up here, I'm always hearing about, things going on outside in the world out there. And I'm just like, yo, some of these things could happen here. But I guess it's just to kind of like trust ourselves to collaborate more and...
Yeah, and pour into our own, bro.
Yeah.
Just like I'm doing my basketball academy, because what I brought to, because I'm doing it full time, so what I brought is really, because first of all, nobody's doing basketball training full time. I'm the only full time basketball trainer on the island.
Okay.
But I'm not just training kids and then they going away. Like I also mentor them as well. And what I do with my basketball page, I get content. It's like just so they can have the feeling of. If they go online, they can see themselves doing drills, they can see themselves working out, they can read the comments and see what people are saying about them. Not saying like they have to really like go all in and, take it to heart what people are saying, but just give them the same vibe of what trainers in the US are doing.
But it's also the culture, dog. Like, these days you just gotta kind of have a presence on the internet.
Yeah,
and,
true.
Because this is where people kind of like flesh out your history, your archive. Yep. And they see what you're doing already, so when they talk to you, it's just a reinforcement that you actually, kind of on your thing. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of important. I would push that, for anybody who's even collaborated with me, younger and up and coming, and they want to do that, like, have an online presence. Make sure you do that because, your coach can do as much as he can, and your community can do as much as it can. Grenada can do as much as it can. But if you're online and you're out there in the world, people seeing you. And, the pages are moving around, people sharing stuff, you never know.
Yeah.
So it's just collaborating with other people in the same community and things could go far. And you could probably bring that back to the cohort of the basketball group with the coach. Yeah, and he could help you now expand on it and help you talk through some of the opportunities and stuff.
Exactly. And all that comes with kind of just staying open-minded as well.
Because, it's a game. Yeah. So that means at the end of the day, too, it's competitive. True, and... we're playing to beat the next team. Mm-hmm. And part of that is also like looking for opportunities that allow you to get training and allow you to develop your skills over other players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can't sit down and like wait for the coach to be like, oh yeah, we have this tournament coming up and we're all going. Then we're all competing there.
Yeah, exactly.
So what if you were able to go and research for yourself opportunities and places that are providing maybe basketball advice, basketball training, resource material that you don't have access to normally, these type of things. That gives you a competitive edge. Like, if you want to win at something, you have to do stuff that other people are not doing.
Not doing, bro.
You know what I mean?
You just pitched the book just now.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So if you want to make good art, you have to do things that other people are not willing to do. And for me, that looks like if I have to go like a little extra mile to give that extra production value, do it. Yeah. So with Don't Blink, we kind of didn't have the ability to afford like the visual effects. You know what I mean? So that kind of halted the film for a while.
Okay.
And we were talking for a bit. It's like, it's not bad anyways. It's like really good filmmaking and, but it didn't have that extra visual effects that brings the folklore to life. Right. And that makes a huge distinction because orally we've always been talking about folklore. And when we document it, it's always in that same type of capacity. We can sit there and document it and talk about it, but we can't show someone what it looks like.
Right.
So the visual effects was super important for us to sort of materialize the film the way it did. And I'm kind of happy that we stuck it out and we did our fundraising, and we, even if it took us 2 years, we still kind of like got through to got the first part up.
Yeah.
So that for me is like a big win in terms of breaking the mold of not doing it simple, not doing it ordinary, and trying to do it to a level that most people are not trying to do it at.
Yeah, and that's what it is, bro. It's kind of like sticking to your vision, and regardless of the adversity or roadblocks, just kind of seeing it through.
Yeah, but it goes even further for me, bro. Because when I think about it, like even like playing basketball, like you have to. It's mandatory that you find some way to get from point A to B, regardless of the turbulence in the middle.
Yeah.
Because your competitive advantage is your ability to also find opportunity for yourself, to develop your skills, to develop your mind, develop your practice. Nobody can do that for you.
Yeah.
So you can't come and be like, oh, the coaching, he didn't push us hard today. Nah, you didn't push yourself hard today.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Or you can't be like, well, there's not much filmmakers in the country, then, don't be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't be a filmmaker, but you want to be it. So you have to ask yourself questions that diagnose where you are to where you want to get to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's super important. That has to be like your job. Like if you're in school, your job is your profession is just being a student. Mm-hmm. It's within your right and your interests, if you really care about like your future, to put effort into learning the topic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because exam day is going to come and someone's getting a grade and someone's going to be below 50 and some people are going to be above 50.
Yeah.
So you could already tell if you're going to be above 50 because you know what you're putting in.
Yeah.
And so with my art, I'm doing the same thing. It's mandatory for me to do monthly research, to do monthly call-outs and monthly collaborations with people. Mm-hmm. Just have conversations with people who doesn't exist in my space and bring something, a different perspective to the table.
Right.
But to also, consult with people in my space to kind of understand the essence and the emotion of the stories that we're trying to tell. But to me, I see that as very crucial. Like, I have to figure out how to get from point A to B. And inside of the middle of that, I want to diagnose what are the things that's stopping me from getting to point B.
Yeah.
I want to know. Like, that's all I'm focused on. So if it means more training, okay, I got to train. If it means relocation, okay, I got to relocate. If it means I need to find a mentor who does this thing because it's really technical with a specialized skill, okay, how do I find that guy? You know what I mean? But I'm asking those questions all the time. And I would not stop asking those questions because I want to make dope shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to make dope shit. And to do that, I want to possess the skills and the network of collaborators that are able to make dope shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's really what it is. You hit the nail on the head with that one, bro. Talking about, like, you use the perfect analogy. Well, I know I play basketball, so you use the basketball analogy. We're like kids saying, "Oh, the coach didn't push them today," but what do you mean the coach? If you want to get a scholarship, you're gonna wait for the coach to push you.
Exactly.
So that was good, man. I love that, bro. You know what I mean? And like everything that you're doing, especially with that film, well, you just drop the news to everybody so they know it's a series now.
It's a series.
I know a lot of people are going to be when they know they're going to be looking forward to it. I'm still going to tap in. I got to get past the first one. You feel me?
Yeah, for real.
But as always, bro, like I really appreciate you as a brother.
For real, bro. And
for coming through and doing this pod. But apart from Don't Blink, bro, if you have like any other things, because I know you do way more than just like the film production part. You're an artist. In your own right, and then you have other things you're doing. So if you want to like share with the people, like if you like stuff that you do, like what you have coming up other than the film, that'd be dope.
Well, I mean, right now for me, it's Don't Blink. So I want as much persons as possible to get involved in Don't Blink. If you have a location that you think would be worthy of us filming at, if you think you want to try your hand at acting, join us. If you think you want to learn filmmaking and how we're doing it, join in the chat, you know what I mean? And on the art side, we have the art gallery here that we're in right now. We also do an event. We try to do an event every month. so you can be part of that. We try to focus a little bit more on the art therapy side, but at the same time try to give people some skills that they can, make their own art for themselves.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in art classes, whether you're in school and you just want to like beef up yourself, or you're just an enthusiast, we do that stuff here, and we try to collaborate as much artists as we can to diversify the artwork.
Okay, that's dope, man. And you remember I told you like stuff that you do, I wanted to at least be a part of it, just because all I do, basketball. I'm literally like submerged in basketball, bro. Like my love and my passion. So do something out of that. I know you had mentioned to me about the brush and bites.
True.
So whenever you're having that, like for myself, that might turn into a hobby of mine. You never know. So that's
All right, say less, bro. So we designed something for you. Yeah. We do.
All right, my dog.
In our real life.
Yeah, for real. Also, I have my basketball skills camp that's currently running. We're on week 2. Well, week 2 is week 1, sorry, is almost over. And we're going into the second week, putting them kids through some work. And we're currently working on bringing a team to Antigua for an invitational tournament next month.
That's good,
With the KCB Academy, that's where we're pushing right now. And we got a couple projects we're working on for the end of the year. I'm doing some connections and collaborations with some people outside of the island, trying to give the kids more opportunity to just continue playing and just get the recognition and the experience of playing against people outside of the island. You know what I mean? So again, though, my brother Teddy here, appreciate him as always, putting up on the podcast. To just share some of his work and what he does. So anything you want to tell like the people who watching, like any inspirational words or anything to motivate the people?
True. There's always a need for something like that. And
for sure.
Facts. Yeah, man. What I would say to anybody who's watching this podcast and listening to our voices, I want to say that, you do good stuff, people will talk. You do bad stuff, people will talk. You just got to commit to an idea and, get it done. That's it.
It is as simple as that for me. So again, my brother, appreciate you coming through and doing this pod. As always, as we always close, stay true to yourself, stay true to your journey, stay true to the game.
Ooh. Real.